You want everything now, don't you? You're shaking inside, screaming without sound. You want the pain to end, the doubt to vanish, the respect to pour in like a damn waterfall. But life doesn't hand you what you want. It hands you weight, and then it watches to see if you'll carry it or let it crush you. You think they don't see you? Oh, they see you. They see you drowning in silence. They just pretend you're invisible because it's easier to ignore the broken than to admit they help break them. That's why I'm telling you, be patient. Because patience ain't weakness, kid. It's pressure. Pure, silent pressure. And pressure, when controlled, builds diamonds. But uncontrolled, it explodes. That's what separates the freaks from the phantoms. You've been screaming for a miracle, but I'm here to tell you, you are the damn miracle. And nobody's coming to save you. So you either sit in your sorrow until it rots your soul, or you weaponize that silence. They'll mock your patience, you know. Call it laziness, call it fear. But they don't know what it costs to sit with yourself, to grind in silence, to watch them rise while you're still stuck in the dirt. That's pain. That's the test. Everyone wants to look strong on the outside, but you're being forged from the inside. They can't see the war in your head, the nights you didn't sleep, the breakdowns you swallowed. You stayed silent while they screamed for attention. You stayed low while they danced in the spotlight. And they think you're losing? They have no idea what you're building. See, patience isn't just waiting, it's preparation. You're being sharpened. And one day, when you rise, you won't make noise. You'll make damage. That's the beauty of holding back. You don't warn them. You just show up and change everything. They'll try to bait you. Oh yeah. People love dragging the calm ones out of their peace because your silence makes them nervous. Your restraint is a threat. Why? Because deep down, they know. The one who waits is the one who plans. And when a man plans in pain, his vengeance is surgical. So hold the line. Feel every second of this darkness. Memorize it. Because the world only respects what it fears. And the day you rise with all that collected rage under control, you won't need to raise your voice. Your silence will echo louder than their screams ever could. You want to hear something real? The ones who move too fast, they fall first. The ones who chase noise, they get forgotten. But you've been abandoned, bruised, betrayed, and yet you stayed standing, maybe shaking, maybe bleeding, but standing. That's not failure. That's damn evolution. The caterpillar looks dead in its cocoon, useless, weak, and then one day, it flies. And nobody remembers how ugly the weight was. They only admire the wings. That's you. Right now, you're in the cocoon. Don't rip it open trying to prove yourself to the ones who left. Let it harden you. Let it burn. Because when you come out, they won't recognize you. And don't think I'm saying this to comfort you. No, I don't do comfort. I do reality. I do that raw, bitter truth that most people are too soft to swallow. You want motivation? Fine. Here's your motivation. Nobody cares until you win. That's it. They'll watch you suffer and scroll past your pain. But post one win, just one, and suddenly they knew you could do it. Liars. All of them. They didn't believe. They just waited to jump on the ride once you built the damn vehicle. That's why you don't explain yourself, you don't defend yourself, you endure. And when it's time, you let your results tear their doubts to pieces. They think patience means weakness because they've never had to sit in the fire. They've never been ignored for years while giving your all. They've never kept their mouth shut while being laughed at, betrayed, forgotten. They don't know what it means to hold your rage inside and use it as fuel instead of fireworks. But you do, and that's your power. See, a weak man reacts. A dangerous man waits. He watches. He studies. He understands the game before making a move. That's what you're doing. Collecting information, building your storm. But the world is addicted to noise. They think loud means strong. They chase attention like addicts chasing their next hit of dopamine. They show off fake wins, fake smiles, fake lives. And you're the shadow behind the curtain. Quiet, patient, starving, not for food, for legacy. And legacies aren't built in daylight, they're built in the dark, they're built in silence. They're built in rooms nobody sees, on nights nobody remembers. You are building yours right now, and one day it will swallow their spotlight whole. I know the nights are long. I know it feels like nobody sees the effort, the pain, the hunger. But that's exactly why it's powerful. The unseen pain, that's the real weapon. Every tear you held back, every insult you ignored, every lie they told while smiling in your face, it's all recorded. Not by them, by you. And the brain, kid, the brain never forgets. It stacks every wound. It archives every betrayal. And when you rise, all that pain becomes calculation. You won't seek revenge with blood. You'll seek it with results. You'll stand on everything they tried to bury you under. And when they ask how you did it, you'll laugh. Because they forgot you existed. And that's what made you unstoppable. You were reborn in that silence, forged in it. And now your name? It's going to sting every one of them like salt in a wound. Let me tell you something cold. Life doesn't reward the loudest. It rewards the most relentless. You can cry, break, fall, disappear. But if you come back, quiet, focused, lethal, you become the nightmare they never saw coming. That's what you're becoming. They thought your silence meant surrender. They thought your distance meant defeat. They thought your patience meant fear. Let them think. Let them get comfortable. Because the day you flip the switch, is the day their comfort ends. You don't owe them warnings. You owe yourself victory. And that takes time. That takes pain. That takes an iron will to sit in that boiling storm without making a sound. They'll never understand what that costs. But you'll live the reward. And don't expect applause. Don't expect them to clap when you finally win. No. They'll act confused. They'll pretend they always supported you. Or worse, they'll try to drag you back to who you used to be. Don't fall for it. Success rewrites history. But you don't forget. Don't forget the fake friends. Don't forget the silence when you needed help. Don't forget how they only came around when they thought you were useful. That memory, that's your wall. That's your shield. Because once you've waited, suffered, and climbed in silence, you don't let noise distract you again. That's how the real ones move. Patient, strategic, ruthless. Keep your head down. Keep stacking. Keep bleeding in the dark. Because soon, the same people who laughed at your silence will be silenced by your success. And when that day comes, don't even raise your voice. Just look at them. Quiet, cold, unbothered. Because silence built you, and silence will destroy them. They don't get it. They never will. See, patience isn't some holy virtue they taught you in pretty little stories. It's a war. It's waking up every day with fire in your chest and chains on your hands. It's knowing you can tear the world apart right now, but choosing to wait. Choosing to stay still while your heart beats like a drum of war, while your mind screams to retaliate, to speak, to act, but you don't, because you know something they don't. You know the power of timing. See, a lion doesn't roar when it's starving. It waits, it watches, it stalks, and when it strikes, there's no warning. That's you. You're not behind. You're not slow. You're calculating. Let them laugh. Let them misunderstand. They think you're doing nothing while you're building everything. Let them mock the quiet man. They don't realize that's the man who's going to take their world apart when he decides it's time. And let me tell you this, the world doesn't reward rage. It rewards control. That's the cruel part. You could scream, punch, break, destroy, and nobody will care. But show results, show progress in silence, suddenly you're interesting. Suddenly they ask how you did it. And here's the truth they never tell you. Results come from restraint. The ability to suffer without reacting. The discipline to hurt and not scream. The strength to wait without begging for attention. That's what makes you dangerous. They don't fear the man who yells. They fear the one who listens, observes, waits, and then strikes with precision. That's why you stay patient. Because while they waste energy trying to look powerful, you're becoming powerful. You want to break? Good. That means you're human, but don't. Not yet. Not in front of them. Break behind the curtain. Scream where nobody can hear you. Cry where nobody can use it against you. Then wipe your face and walk out like nothing happened. That's what patience looks like. It's internal chaos, wearing a calm mask. You think the strongest people are the loudest? Number. The strongest ones are the ones who keep going after everyone they loved left. The ones who rebuilt with nothing. The ones who stood up when they had every excuse to stay down. That's you. You're surviving storms most people would drown in. You're breathing in atmospheres most people would suffocate in. And the worst part? Nobody even knows. That's why it hurts. But that's also why you're rare. So many people want shortcuts. They want it now. Fame, money, validation. But the ones who get it fast, they lose it faster. Because you can't hold what you didn't earn. You're earning it. Every bruise, every lonely night, every failed plan. It's adding weight to your hands, so when the time comes, you'll hold that success with power they'll never understand. And yeah, it's cruel. You watch people who lied, cheated, faked their way up, winning. And you're down here grinding in silence. But here's the punchline. They burn out. Fast. You're building roots. Deep ones. And a tree with deep roots doesn't fall when the storm comes. It bends. It endures. It survives. That's you. You're not late. You're lasting. So next time it hurts, next time your chest feels like it's caving in, and your mind tells you to quit, remember this. You're not stuck. You're being sharpened. You're not invisible. You're being hidden for the right time. Your silence isn't weakness. It's the wind-up before the strike. And when that moment comes, when the silence finally breaks, they won't even have time to react. They'll just watch, in regret, in awe, in silence. The same silence they once mistook for defeat. You ever wonder why pain feels endless? Why time slows down when you're hurting? It's because pain wants to teach you something. It's the world's ugliest, most honest teacher. See, when you're comfortable, you don't learn. You relax, you stagnate. But when everything burns, when your chest is tight and your world's gone quiet, that's when you grow. That's when your instincts kick in, and you start to see what's real and what was just noise. Pain strips the mask off life. It shows you who's fake, who's loyal, who's there for the good times, and who disappears the second you bleed. And when the dust settles, when the noise fades, and the crowd vanishes, all that's left is you, broken, tired, alone. And that's when you discover the monster, or the miracle, you've been hiding inside. That's when the real work begins. But you won't see it now. Not yet. Right now, it just hurts. Right now, you just want answers. You want justice. You want a reason to keep going when it feels like the universe is laughing in your face. And that's why I'm here. To remind you, be patient. Don't chase quick fixes. Don't fall for distractions. Don't numb the pain just to forget. Feel it. Every damn drop of it. Let it scar you. Let it change you. Because one day, you'll look back and realize that pain wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It wasn't there to stop you. It was there to show you how much you could take before breaking, and how much stronger you became for not breaking. You want them to respect you, then disappear. Let them live in their fake peace, while you train in real silence. While they show off, you prepare. While they relax, you grind. While they sleep, you build. And when it's time, you show up unrecognizable, not loud, not dramatic, just undeniable. And that moment, that second, when your name is too heavy for their mouths to carry, that's the reward. That's what all this waiting is for. But if you crack now, if you break the silence and beg for what's yours too early, you'll lose it all. Not because you weren't good enough, but because you weren't ready. The universe doesn't give gifts. It gives opportunities. And if you're too impatient to wait for yours, someone else will take it. Let them talk. Let them mock your silence. Let them misunderstand your distance. They don't know you. They only know your absence. That's their mistake. Because when you reappear, you won't need to explain anything. Your glow-up will speak louder than their gossip ever did. Your rise will choke every lie they used to define you. That's how patience works. It doesn't fight the noise, it outlives it. And when the world moves on and everyone forgets, the one who stayed patient becomes unforgettable. But patience isn't easy. It's hell. It's waiting in the dark with no guarantee. It's trusting a process that gives nothing back until the very end. And that's why most people quit. Not because they're weak, but because patience asks for everything while giving you nothing in return. Until one day, it gives you everything. So don't quit. Don't fold. Don't react. Just keep building. Keep bleeding. Keep becoming. Because the longer you wait, the louder your arrival will be. And when it happens, don't say a word. Just look at them, smile, and walk past them like they were never part of your story. Because they weren't. They were just noise. And you were the storm waiting to hit. They'll come back, not now. Not while you're low, not while you're silent. But later. When the dust clears, when the power shifts, when your name carries weight, they'll act like they never left. Like they always believed. Like they didn't laugh behind your back, didn't ignore your cries, didn't vanish the moment your light dimmed. That's what they do. Because your silence makes them forget. It makes them think you gave up, that you let the pain eat you alive. But what they don't see is the rebuilding, the quiet rise, the brutal rebirth. You're not who you used to be, and that scares them. That's why patience is dangerous. It allows you to transform unseen. While they're busy putting on a show, you're in the basement of your soul forging weapons they can't defend against. Your discipline, your pain, your focus, Those are your claws. Those are your bullets. And when the curtain drops and you finally step back into their view, you won't look like the person they left behind. But don't go back for revenge. That's too small now. You've outgrown that. Let your existence be revenge. Let your success be the storm that shakes their peace. You don't need to scream. You don't need to explain. They'll feel it. The silence they once mocked will become the silence they fear. Because now they know. It wasn't weakness. It was warning. And by the time they realize that, it'll be too late. You'll be gone. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually gone. Elevated. Unreachable. And all they'll have left are memories and regrets they'll never be able to apologize for. So be patient, not just with them, with yourself. Be patient with your progress. Be patient with your healing. You're not late. You're just growing roots in soil no one else could survive in. And yeah, it's lonely. Brutally lonely. You'll lie awake at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, wondering if you're wasting your life. You'll question everything. You'll feel like screaming, like breaking something, like walking away from everyone and everything, but don't. That moment, that exact moment, is when the weak fall and the rare rise. That's when the quiet ones build their legacy, not in comfort, not in applause, but in that suffocating, soul-twisting silence where nobody sees, nobody helps, and nobody cares. That's where warriors are made, not on stages, not in crowds, but in isolation, in pain, in patience. And you'll see it soon. One day you'll walk into a room and feel the shift. They'll look at you different. They won't know what changed, but something did. You'll carry yourself different, talk different, move different. And that's not arrogance. That's evolution, the product of every silent night, every battle you fought alone, every tear you dried without a shoulder. You earned that shift. It wasn't gifted. It was suffered for. And when they ask what happened, why you're so quiet, so focused, so powerful, just smile. Because the truth is too heavy for them to carry. They wouldn't survive what you went through. They wouldn't last a day in your silence. So keep going. Keep burning in the quiet. Keep breaking and rebuilding. Because you're not just surviving, you're becoming. And one day, when it all clicks, you'll look back and understand why it had to hurt so bad. Why it had to take so long. Why you had to lose so much. Because it wasn't destruction. It was direction. It was the universe pulling you back, not to punish you, but to launch you. And when it does, don't look back. Let silence finish what it started. You'll never forget how it felt. The silence, the loneliness, the pit in your chest that stayed even after the tears dried. You'll carry that weight for a long time. And that's okay. You're supposed to, because the ones who carry nothing, they become nothing. That pain etched itself into your bones for a reason. It carved your character. It forged your spine. And while everyone else was running from discomfort, you sat in it. You didn't run. You didn't beg. You didn't crumble. You suffered through every damn second. And that's what makes you unbreakable. They'll never understand it. They'll never understand how someone can go through that much and still get up. Still keep moving. Still breathe through the madness. But you do. You breathe through it like a beast caged in silence, waiting for the chains to rust. Because deep down, you know, the longer you wait, the sharper your teeth get. You used to think patience was about time, about waiting for the right moment. But now you understand it's about control, about refusing to let the world dictate who you become. They wanted you to react, to explode, to break, so they could feel superior. That's how weak people win, by dragging others down to their chaos. But you didn't give them that satisfaction. You chose the hard path, the invisible one, the one with no validation, no praise, no shortcuts. That takes more strength than any fight, to stand still in the middle of a storm, knowing you could burn everything down, but choosing not to. That's real power. That's what makes your rise permanent. Because it wasn't emotion that carried you. It was discipline. It was silence. It was pain converted into purpose. They're not watching now, but they will. One day, the same people who said you were too quiet, too slow, too soft, will use your name to validate their own mediocrity. I knew him, they'll say. We used to be close. And you'll laugh, because they don't know you. They only knew the version of you that hadn't awakened yet. The version still learning how to breathe through betrayal. Still figuring out how to love yourself when nobody else did. That person's gone now. Buried beneath a mountain of broken promises, fake smiles, and lessons burned into your skin. And what's left is someone they can't touch anymore. Someone they can't control, can't manipulate, can't diminish. Because patience didn't just teach you how to wait. It taught you how to dominate without needing to be seen. So what now? You keep going. You keep building in silence. You stop looking for signs and start becoming the sign. You let your actions speak in a language the loud ones can't comprehend. You let your stillness shake their worlds, and yeah, because they thought they buried you. But really, they planted you. And every second of silence, every ounce of restraint, every delayed explosion, it was watering something unstoppable inside you. You're not just rising, you're evolving into something colder, smarter, stronger. And the best part? You don't owe them an explanation. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. Let them guess. That confusion in their eyes when they see you winning, that's your closure. Patience made you dangerous. And dangerous doesn't chase. Dangerous doesn't beg. Dangerous doesn't scream. Dangerous waits. And when the moment is right, it doesn't knock. It doesn't warn. It walks through the door and changes everything. That's your story now. And it's only getting started. You know what patience really is? It's revenge in slow motion. It's standing at the bottom of the mountain while they laugh from the top, thinking you'll never make it. And you? You don't say a word. You don't scream back. You don't justify. You just take one step and then another and another. And while they're busy showing off the view, you're building the legs to climb higher than they ever dreamed. And when you finally reach that peak, not only will you stand above them, you'll do it with peace in your eyes and fire in your chest, because you didn't need to destroy them to win. You let them destroy themselves, trying to figure out how you never collapsed. And that's what burns them the most. Not that you succeeded, but that you succeeded without them. And make no mistake, they'll come with questions. How did you do it? Where have you been? What happened to you? And the answer, everything. Everything happened. Pain, betrayal, silence. Nights you wanted to disappear, mornings you didn't want to face, days where your own mind felt like the enemy. That's what happened. But they wouldn't understand, even if you told them. Because what you went through, it wasn't made to be shared. It was made to be survived. And that survival rewrote your DNA. You're not who you were when you started this journey. That person was soft. That person wanted acceptance. That person thought love would save them. But you became your own salvation. You stopped waiting for someone to understand you. You became someone so powerful they had no choice but to watch. And let me be blunt, they didn't deserve you. The ones who left, the ones who doubted, the ones who made you feel like your emotions were too much, your dreams too big, your silence too loud. They couldn't handle the storm because they were never meant to. You see, people don't hate your pain. They hate your patience with it because it reminds them of their own weakness, of how fast they would have folded if they were in your shoes. And instead of respecting your endurance, they resent it. They hide their shame behind sarcasm, behind fake jokes. But every time they see you not breaking, they break a little more. That's the price of watching someone evolve into everything you said they'd never be. You'll get to a point where peace replaces the need for revenge. Not because you forgave them, not because you forgot what they did, but because you outgrew the war. That's when you know you've made it. When your silence isn't a weapon anymore, it's a lifestyle. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need their applause, their approval, or their attention, because you finally found something they can't give you: yourself. And when you have that, truly have it, there's nothing they can do to take it back. That's what patience gifted you. Not just power, not just progress, but freedom. Freedom from needing them, from chasing ghosts, from bleeding for people who never cared if you healed. So sit with that. Let that sink in. Because everything you lost, you didn't need it. Everything that left, it wasn't yours. Everything that hurt, it was a lesson dressed in pain. And everything you've waited for, it's coming. Not in your time, not on your terms, but in a way so exact, so poetic, so painfully perfect, that when it does arrive, you'll smile through the tears. Not because it erased the suffering, but because it made it worth it. And when it does come, when that moment finally crashes through the silence like thunder, you won't scream, you won't cheer, you won't even blink, because by then, you'll be different, not numb, wise. You'll have seen too much, lost too much, waited too long. You'll greet victory like an old friend, one you always knew would show up, even when the world said otherwise. That's the difference between you and them. They celebrate early, they chase applause, but you walk alone in the storm for years without clapping for yourself, because you knew, deep down, you always knew. You weren't waiting for validation, you were waiting for alignment, for your preparation to meet the opportunity, for your silence to collide with purpose. And when it does, it won't just change your life, it'll erase everything they thought they knew about you. People fear what they can't define. That's why your silence made them so uncomfortable. They couldn't categorize you, couldn't figure out your next move, couldn't tell if you were broken or building. That mystery? That's power. Real power doesn't explain itself. It doesn't post updates. It doesn't argue. It lets results speak. That's what you're becoming. A result. Not a person, not a name, not a profile. A living, breathing result of every storm survived, every knife pulled from your back, every fake friend buried behind your ambition. And when people finally see what you've become, it'll be too late for them to catch up. Because while they were busy talking, you were busy turning your pain into precision. You were turning breakdowns into blueprints. That's the thing about silence. It teaches you how to listen, not just to others, but to yourself, to your instincts, to your inner voice that they tried to mute, the one that told you to keep going when nobody else did. That voice, that's your compass. It led you here, and it'll lead you further, but only if you stay patient, because the truth is most people lose the war right before the win. They quit at the peak of pain. They let the pressure break them instead of shape them. But not you. You stayed. You endured. You died and came back without anyone noticing. And now you're ready, not just to rise, but to reign, quietly, strategically, completely. So don't rush it. Don't ruin it by trying to speed up what's meant to unfold. Stay in the dark a little longer. Let them keep thinking you're gone. Let them sleep on you. Because when you return, it won't be with noise. It'll be with presence. And presence doesn't knock. It doesn't announce itself. It walks in and everything else shuts up. That's who you're becoming. The kind of soul that doesn't beg to be seen, but forces people to adjust to your existence. And the beauty? You built it with patience, with scars, not shortcuts, with late nights, not lucky breaks, with silence, not screaming. You didn't just survive the fire. You became it. And now you burn different, quietly, permanently. And the ones who thought you were finished, they'll watch you from the shadows of their own doubt, realizing too late that the reason you were quiet wasn't because you had nothing to say. It was because you were busy becoming everything they swore you'd never be. And here's the cruel part. The longer you stayed patient, the more they convinced themselves you were irrelevant. That's how fragile they are. If they don't see it, if they don't hear it, they think it died. But real strength, real transformation, it doesn't need witnesses. It doesn't need permission. It grows in silence like roots tearing through stone beneath the surface. And by the time they realize something's happening, it's too late. You've already grown past the version of you they remember, past the version they could control, manipulate, or ignore. That's why silence is sacred. It protects your evolution. It gives you space to mutate without noise, without interruption. You're not hiding. You're constructing. Not just a better life, but a better you. Stronger, colder, smarter. A version of you that doesn't need to prove anything, because now your presence is the proof. See, people love to label you when you're quiet. They love to assume. They'll say you're scared, lost, bitter. But they don't understand that silence is surgical. It's the scalpel you use to cut away everything weak, fake, and useless in your life. It's how you remove people without drama, how you erase doubt without shouting, how you rebuild your soul without anyone watching. That's not fear. That's efficiency. That's discipline. You didn't go silent because you gave up. You went silent because you got serious. Because you realized talking doesn't fix betrayal. Screaming doesn't fix disrespect. Noise doesn't fix pain. Work does. Stillness does. Patience does. And that's what they'll never comprehend because they were never built to sit alone with themselves. But you were. That's your advantage. And you know what's coming. Deep down, you feel it. That moment, that shift, that divine cold second when everything turns. You can't see it yet, but it's moving. All the rejection, all the confusion, all the late nights where you sat with clenched fists and tear-filled eyes. It wasn't for nothing. The universe isn't blind. It's just brutal. It doesn't give you what you want when you cry for it. It gives you what you earned after you've bled enough to carry it. And you've bled silently, repeatedly, brutally. So when that moment comes When the tides finally shift and your name starts echoing through places it was once banned from, you won't be surprised. You won't celebrate like a fool. You'll just nod, because you already lived that victory in your mind 1,000 times during the war. You already saw yourself standing above it all while they forgot you were still breathing. That's the art of being patient. You suffer in silence, and you win without warning. You give the world your back while you sharpen the blade. And when you finally turn around, they won't recognize you, because they were never watching closely enough to know what was being built. That's your story now. Not one of pity, not one of tragedy, but one of vengeance without violence, success without noise, power without pride. You are the embodiment of silent suffering turned unstoppable strength. And when they try to return, when they knock on your door pretending they never left, you won't answer out of spite. You won't answer at all. Because silence gave you everything they never could. And now, it's your language. It's your shield. It's your sword. So keep speaking it. Keep breathing through it. Keep growing within it. Because you're not just being patient. You're preparing to end them with your presence alone.